Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I want to talk to you about best practices for growing and fertilizing acid-loving plants. Now, acid lovers include a wide range of things, including hollies, hydrangeas, gardenias, camellias, blueberries, and that's what I'm going to be showing you today. Now, the reason that I'm making this video is because I have a sick blueberry and I don't fully understand why. I'm hoping that a healthy dose of acid fertilizer and ground-aged pine bark around the base is going to do the trick to revive this plant so that it looks as good as the plants that are right next to it. The two key products to use: Polytone for fertilizer and soil conditioner, which is ground-aged pine bark, as the kind of mulch substrate for your acid lovers. So I'm going to give this blueberry some generous handfuls. And while I'm at it, I'm going to fertilize all the rest of the blueberries in this line. So what's really motivated me to come through and mulch is that I'm seeing these plants are, kind of like they have roots exposed. So I want to make sure I get that covered up. The strawberries do really well as a ground cover base with the blueberries. They like the acidity as well. So all of these plants will benefit from this treatment. So I think one bag is going to be enough to be able to cover the 6 blueberries that I have in this line. And I'm just going to toss out kind of some generous heapings. And hopefully I'll have enough left over to kind of do the whole mulch area. I'm really in the need to get some mulch. I just haven't quite had time, and happily the webinar schedule is settling down a bit, so the coming weeks I'll be able to get to it. So the ideal planting mix for putting new blueberries or camellias or gardenias into the ground is a mix of compost and that ground-aged pine bark. So that process is really simple. It's like 50-50. Just gonna put a bunch of compost into my wheelbarrow, and this works for both container and in the ground. And I'm gonna show you both methods. I have a really kind of sad, super abused camellia that could use some rehabbing. I'm gonna do that in a large pot. And I have 2 overgrown blueberries that have been in a pot that deserve to go into the ground and really spread their roots out. So I'm actually just trading the 2. Okay, so I've got my wheelbarrow about halfway full, and then I'm gonna just put most of this bag in. I'm gonna save a little so I can use it as a mulch top dress. And I'm just gonna mix the 2 together so that I get this really nice, porous, acidic soil, because that is really the key here. Awesome. Okay, so here is one of 2 extremely abused camellias, and I'm gonna move this back farther because this was originally planted in front of this crinum, and that doesn't make any sense. But to do that, the best approach, I've dug the hole. This area has been super dry. I accidentally ran the hose here though for 2 hours the other day, so it's not as dry as it was. Now I have 2 wildly overgrown blueberries. Look, you can see exactly where they were in a pot, that I'd like to put in this bed. I have 1 blueberry here that didn't even flower for me this year, so I think the addition of 2 more will help. I would love to prune these, but they have fruit on them. So I'm gonna leave them for this season. After I harvest the fruit in midsummer, I'm gonna cut them back and try to make them look a little bit more organized. All right, so before I mulch, I am gonna give everything in this bed a heavy dose of Polytone. Everything over here is on the acid-loving side, so this is sort of the perfect solution. I've got hydrangeas, calicarpa, blueberries, camellias, and I'm just going to take this leftover soil conditioner and just kind of lightly use it as a mulch. I'm just gonna scatter this around, and really important, everything has to get watered now. And lastly, I'm going to pot this camellia up. Now this has been in the ground suffering. Let me show you the roots. They're kind of a snarl of just really abused plant here. So I'm gonna fill this pot up with my compost because I am out of ground pine bark. And I really want to make sure that this plant has the ability to rebound. This is a cool variety called Contorta. It's a Camellia japonica. And I don't want it to be planted too deep. So just raise it up like that and then top dress here. When I get more pine bark, I will definitely use mulch. I will use the pine bark as a mulch on this, so it won't disturb the roots again. And I'm going to give it some holly tone now, just to make sure that it gets all the nutrients it needs to be able to start successfully flushing. You see, camellias are starting to put out their new growth right now. Now again, make sure that's not planted too deep by adjusting that, but I do want to make sure that all the roots are covered. And then hopefully in the next few days, I'll have an opportunity to get to Home Depot and buy another couple bags of that ground-aged pine bark. I hope this video will help make you grow acid-loving plants more successfully. Be sure to subscribe to Breathe the Plant Lady, and if you found this video to be useful, give me a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching.